Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
And this is a Just Passing Through episode and also a promotional thing for Bumblefest, which is happening this weekend.
Yeah, it's happening tomorrow and Saturday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. First and second.
Mm-hmm. 1st and 2nd of September, which is literally tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we have Larry from Death Valley Girls here with us. How's it going, man?
Hey, pretty good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for doing it.
Yeah, no problem.
I know that the time difference means that we kind of got you up a little bit, so apologies for that. But
no problem. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I've been on a weird schedule. We just got back from a European tour, so it's just been like jet lag and all sorts of crazy hours. So it's just trying to get caught up in the right, time zone.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's cool. I did a lot of touring in Europe with my band Sonic Boom 6 back in the day. What kind of places were you playing?
A lot of festivals. Yeah, it was like summer festival season. So it was like we played Portugal Sonic Blast Festival, which was amazing. We played Switzerland, way up in the Swiss Alps, and like Berlin, a bunch of shows in France, a couple shows opening for the OCs.
I find shows in France are really interesting because the culture there is, if you're just playing a regular show there, they'll feed you this enormous meal, and then you end up going on at like 1 a.m.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. There was a lot of that sort of stuff. Yeah, especially in France.
Yeah, France is really interesting. I feel like Germany and Holland and places like that, it's kind of similar to the UK or the US, but, the further south in Europe you get, the more the culture difference kind of changes things,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So you're coming to Palm Beach County to play Bumblefest. That's awesome. How long are you guys going to be here? Are you flying in and out, or are you going to hang out for a bit?
I think we'll have a bit of time. We're coming in Friday, tomorrow, and then we'll have and then leaving on Sunday. So we'll have a little bit of time maybe to check out sites.
Nice.
Yeah, wicked. So what day are you playing? Do you know?
I guess I think maybe it's Sunday. It could be confused. I think it's the.
I might be able to check. Let me have a look here.
Probably Saturday. Yeah, if it's the second, it's Saturday.
Oh, yeah. It's Saturday.
Yeah, cool. It's a lot of fun. Steve Ruhlman, who puts the thing on, he's a great proponent of original music here in South Florida. He runs this magazine, which basically is an arts and culture magazine called Pure Honey.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of the festival for the magazine in a way.
Yeah. He's been doing it for a number of years now too. So
Yeah,
cool.
And he gets all sorts of great people to come through, including you guys. So if people aren't aware of the kind of music you are, could you sort of describe what your band's like for everyone a little bit?
I would say, just to put it like really simple terms, I mean, it's rock and roll. Like, like rock and roll, and there's different, there's a lot of influences, just like a lot of other bands. So there's we definitely have some, like punk side to it and more heavy kind of, psychedelic and
nice.
Bonnie loves like Ronnie Spector. And so there's that side to it. And, but basically kind of you could all like kind of describe it as rock and roll.
I've been listening to it, and it has this kind of washy, reverby, kind of psychedelic quality to it, and also, to the point where it occasionally even sounds a bit surfy. But then it's got this kind of garage rock sort of like underpinning,
Oh, totally. That's kind of like when we first started. That was like the common, like we both kind of, me and Bonnie connected on just like garage rock and 60s stuff, and that kind of like was the initial, inspiration, and just making like simple, kind of garagey, catchy songs, and then it's kind of, been evolving over time. But that was the initial like spark, was just like, we just wanted to bash out.
You guys were together in like 2013, 2014, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, since then, how many records have you made? It seems like quite a lot.
Yeah, 5 records. Which is pretty good. Yeah.
That's awesome. And have
Banging
you been?
them out.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Yeah.
Have you been? Our band, Killbillies, has been together for roughly that long, and we have 4, so you're beating us by 1. Yeah. So how busy are you guys? How often are you playing? It sounds like you've been doing a lot lately.
Yeah. We've kind of like this year has been pretty active, and it's been a lot of like. Yeah, the year before was trying to play catch up after the pandemic, so now we finally was able to get into like a proper groove where the new record came out in February, and the first thing we did is we went over to Europe for a month, and then directly we flew from Europe to the U.S., got in the van, and did a U.S. tour, and then pretty much since February, it's been pretty nonstop, a couple weeks off here and there, but it's been a lot of, another European tour, another US tour, fly out dates, and pretty much from, we're starting again with the Florida date, and then New York, we go to Mexico for a couple of weeks, and we're going to brilliant. Australia, which is another big one.
Sick. Have you played in Mexico before?
We played Mexico City, a festival, a couple years ago. And that was it. So we're pretty excited to do like a bunch of shows.
Yeah, how did you organize that? I'm really curious about that because I think Killbillies would have a lot of fun in Mexico. Like, how did that all come to pass for you guys?
Yeah, that one was just like some promoters who had brought some other friends of ours down there, like I think Frankie and the Witch Fingers and some other bands. Like they reached out to us and were. Nice. They wanted to see if we were interested in a tour. And since we did the Mexico City Festival and liked it so much, we were, pretty excited at that proposition. And yeah, it really was just like something we wanted to do, but we didn't know how to, we knew a few people down there, but we didn't know how to like approach, like, well, how do you actually get a tour together? So luckily they came to us, this agency or these people, and we're able to kind of organize this thing, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
What kind of what kind of cities down there are you guys playing, like Monterey and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, it's some of the places. I'll have to look them up really quick because I'm not totally familiar with.
Sure. I'm just curious. I'm a street artist, and so I have I just got back from Colombia doing a street art piece, and I have friends all over the world, like artist friends all over the world. So you got to tell me what cities, because I know people in just about every city in Mexico.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
There's Guadalajara.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mexicali, Mexico City, Querétaro. Mm-hmm. Leon, Guan, I can't even pronounce some of these.
You're doing a heroic effort.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Are you playing in Oaxaca by any chance?
The place I don't see it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's just somewhere that I went when I was at 18 and I just loved it. That's all. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well, maybe that's something we need to work on then.
Yeah.
To Mexico. I'm jealous. What's the Australia date about? That sounds exciting.
Yeah, that one is another one that some friends of ours did, and we actually played when we played South by Southwest this last March, and we played like a showcase, a bunch of bands that was put on by an Australian booking agency.
Okay.
And they, after the show, they asked, and we talked about potentially going to Australia, and they made it happen, and it's crazy because it's another thing that we always wanted to do.
For sure.
Yeah. And from what I hear, it's pretty amazing, and it's pretty like the travel, I guess, is pretty nice because you have to fly to each city, but.
So when you go to Australia, are you just going to rent instruments, or are you just going to bring guitars and rent a drum kit, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, we'll bring our guitars, and then whatever backline they have, whatever I guess we'll just use.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know because usually in Europe we kind of, like hopefully they'll give us like a list to choose from stuff, because that's how when we go to Europe we get a, like pick what
sure
what suits.
checking off.
Actually, it's something we're doing next year. So, like, we need to figure that out because Hector needs to rent a stand-up bass.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a little cumbersome and a little too big for the overhead compartment. So.
Yeah. I wonder how. Yeah. I wonder how. I'm sure rental places have that. I'm sure it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I could put mine in a flight case and bring it with me, but we're trying to figure out what would be easier. You know?
Yeah, I think that there's probably a way to do it in terms of like, there's got to be some kind of rockabilly network, you know, like all the American rockabilly bands that go over to England and stuff. You know, I'm sure there's something we can do with that. In fact, Liam, my old manager for Sonic Boom 6, he was involved in the Stray Cats, so I'll speak to him. I'll speak to him.
Well, it sounds like you guys are checking off bucket list destinations there. You know, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. So, like, when it comes to the lineup, is it like guitar, drums, bass, vocals, kind of standard setup like that?
Yeah, it's pretty standard setup we got going on.
How many of you are there on stage?
There's 4 of us. So I'm up on guitar. Sarah plays bass, Ricky plays drums, and then Bonnie has a lot to do because she's, lead vocals, playing guitar, also playing organ. So there's a lot of switching off.
That's cool.
And Sarah sings a couple songs on her own, but and then wherever towns we have friends in, we usually bring them up on stage to like sing. Nice. Bonnie loves having like crowd interactions, so there's always that.
That's cool. People love it too. That's great.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you what everyone should expect from your live show, but I guess that is one of the things. Like, any other kind of teasers for what the live show's like?
Let's see. I mean, in Europe it was fun because there was a lot of all ages type shows, and Bonnie really loved if there was little kids there who were into it to have them participate.
That's awesome.
Which people love. It's like so much fun, and the kids are just so excited to be a part of the show.
Yeah, there'll almost definitely be kids at this show because if you're playing on the stage that's outside,
if it's the outside stage, then you'll definitely have kids there. On the street there. There's a few venues that the stages are in the venue, up along the street there, and I'm not sure depending, I guess, on what time. But if it's earlier in the day, you'll definitely have kids, for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to have been known about like releases or anything that's going on or anything like that, because we're going to stick this up on social media and stuff like that, so an opportunity to get the word out if there's anything important about the band you want people to know.
I mean, we do have there was a digital single that just came out called I'm a Wave, and that's been kind of getting some radio play, and that's out there, and just lots of we have our Instagram and Facebook, which has, the latest tour news and all that stuff. And that's pretty much,
So are you doing this? I mean, it sounds like you are at least sort of partly, but is this all of you guys like main thing? Like, are you kind of treating this like your sort of income at this point?
Yeah, at this point, because we're on the road so much that it's hard to really have like 9-to-5 type gig.
Sure.
So when we're at home, it's a lot of like, we all have little things we do, and I have, side hustle, like selling stuff on eBay, anything to kind of, bring some income in while we're at home. But for the most part, it is like our main gig because we're just been really hitting the road hard, and
well, it's the way to do it, man. It's really ultimately the only way to do it, if you want to take it to that next level. So I respect it. It's awesome. So you'll be playing Bumblefest, and we think on Saturday. And here is a poster of the Bumblefest and all the different bands that are playing. There's 42 or 43, something like that, bands
Wow.
and there's five stages. Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. Steve's done a great job. He's killing it, and it's going to be a really, really fun weekend. I'm going to come down. I'm going to try and watch you guys' set. We have a gig somewhere else on the Friday, but on Saturday after my gig, I'm going to come down and see if I can find you.
We're going to come down, and then you're going to pull me up with my stand-up bass up on stage.
That'd be great.
Man. You can't miss me. I'll be the one with the ginormous bass standing in the crowd.
Yeah, Larry, it's so nice to meet you, and I can't wait to see the show. And thanks so much for doing this. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I hope that all of your travel is safe, and we'll see you on the weekend at Bumblefest.
Yeah, man.
Cool. All right, see you guys soon.
Yeah,
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Wicked.